Guten Morgen, everyone, and welcome back to TARTLE Cast. Again, beautiful morning over here in New Mexico.
Yeah, it's supposed to be perfect today, like at 90 or something.
Delicious, dry heat.
Oh, yeah.
I love when people are like, yo, dry heat. I said it's, like 108 the other day, and then like, yeah, but it's dry heat. I'm like, it's still 108 degrees.
Yeah. Well, you were just in Vegas.
It's hot.
Hot.
It was really humid there, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's, talk about climate data. So they started this initiative in the 60s, Las Vegas did, to plant as many trees and green space as possible. It's actually altered the climate there over 60 years. It's made it far more humid and actually changed a lot of the weather patterns in that area.
Oh, that's cool.
When I came over the mountain range into Vegas for the first time, I was like, why are there so many trees out here? Absolutely bananas. I would assume that Lake Mead is probably the agricultural feeder for that water.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, I know there's a lot of like man-made lakes and rivers, and Arizona has a lot of that where they have the man-made ones and then they put houses on them.
If you look at the data, Arizona shouldn't exist, the cities.
Yeah.
Those cities in Arizona should not exist at all. They could not exist if they didn't artificially pipe water into it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can't live.
So think about the amount of waste.
I bet Phoenix right now is 100.
I think it's 104 this week, all week.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of data, and of course we're on TCAS, but I thought this was really interesting. I was reading an article about a lady an AI scientist, and her good friend died suddenly. And so she had all the text messages that they had ever, she just never deleted it. So she had it all on her phone. So she put it in an AI and then machine learning was able to read how this person interact and how they interact. And then she built this program that was basically kind of like her friend that she could text back to, even though the friend was dead. And I've heard of people doing this like with Einstein and stuff like that. Like there's a couple AI scientists that are taking all the lectures, all the audio, any video that's out there, just all this huge amounts of data, and then putting it into the cloud and then having it learn itself and then wanting us to be able to ask it questions or communicate. And then we could actually resurrect and kind of resurrect someone. And I thought, what if because it's all in the point of data. Like, you couldn't do this with Plato, but you could do it with Einstein or what's the famous physicist, Feynman or
Feynman?
Yeah. I mean, all his lectures, I sent them to you the other day.
Yeah, the Feynman series, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he has hundreds of hours of lectures all recorded. You could get the AI could get as it becomes learning more and more, and you give it more data, it could get to the point to where you could actually, for the most part, maybe you wouldn't understand if he's funny or, angry or whatever. But on a logical basis, you could actually speak to him.
What you're talking about is a very important point, and this is going to be a big deal for us in the future, is the ability to collect information of knowledge that has grown in the past and then be able to carry it forward efficiently. So I saw this problem a lot in my consulting career with dealing with regime changes in certain businesses.
Yes, yeah.
If you haven't recorded things properly or put it into systems that can be repurposed, what happens is when those people leave, they take the wisdom with them, and then people are left from square one again. So the businesses are always restarting.
That makes sense.
So if you can actually capture these things, upload them into the cloud, and create a repository or a store of knowledge that can be accessed and have a conversation with, so that we can learn from it, an actual very active dialogue so people can learn at their own speeds and paces. This is very beneficial for us to bring our learning catalyst forward and not lose what has been gained and always starting from square one. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's what that is. It's really understanding the knowledge transfer from, one legacy of individuals to the next and not losing that wisdom from those generations, because you have generations of workers.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's the thing that can't be lost. So whether it be the text messages we find here, the benefit of, machine learning in this instance is the fact that we can converse now with knowledge rather than just record it and stick it into a system like some, database and just have it sitting there. We actually make it active. When you increase the motion and the transfer of that information, now it's more flexible to adapt to whatever that person coming in to meet that data. And that's what machine learning is affording us, is flexibility of the information rather than having it very stale and inflexible.
But I mean, like, what if you had somebody that was married for 50 years and then they're able to upload all this information because they have tons of data, video, audio, all this stuff. They're able to upload it to this program, and then they could turn around. Like on a philosophical, let's get a little philosophical. This will be fun. On a philosophical format, could you get over a person better if you could communicate with them in this format? Or would it hinder you moving on?
In an artificial sense? Well, I don't think it's not of the, has nothing to do with the AI. I think that's a learning function for you to deal with. Remember, the AI is just a tool.
Right.
Nothing else. And we can use tools for good or bad. So if you want it to exacerbate an issue that you may have, exacerbate your mourning, whatever that might be, for an even prolonged period of time, increase attachment to something, or you want to use it to actually learn, thank it for that experience, and then move on with your life.
I could just imagine Bill and Mary being married for 50 years. Bill is in his 70s. He's at home alone now. He lost the love of his life. He goes and texts this AI, and then it sounds just like her. Mm-hmm. There's going to be an attachment there.
Oh, most definitely.
But would it help with the healing?
Well, I guess that depends on Bill.
See, this is where I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Because all these systems are going to, what we're talking about right now is going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
It's already happening. I forget what that movie was, where the guy's got a camera and he starts to have a relationship with the AI. Her.
Yeah, and that's with the famous.
That's what this is.
Great actor,
right? But the thing is, it's
Joker dude.
Yeah. What do you want to do? Do you want to have that relationship? Mm-hmm. Do you choose to fully live in that artificial world?
Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah.
Have a relationship with her?
Sure. Sure.
How much?
Yeah, exactly. I'll take 10 AI. Yeah. But that's the point. It's like,
I think that was in, wasn't it in Blade Runner? Remember he had the girl that was kind of a hologram or whatever?
No, she wasn't a hologram. She was a cyborg.
Yeah.
Full blown.
Yeah.
But that's the interesting part. Yeah, she was, oh God, what are they called?
But he had to have like a projector or something, and then he had the little piece or whatever on the newest Blade Runner.
Oh,
2049.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
And it's got the thing in the room that
glitched
moves.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, he was all bummed out about that. But that's the important. He was the cyborg that could reproduce. Mm-hmm. He was a part of that series.
But these things are going to happen. We're going to have this.
Yeah, it's there's been so many times that science fiction becomes science fact.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to recognize that the artificial aspects of these things, computers, will always be computers.
But does it become reality then?
It's the reality in the fact that we're using the tool. That is a very real thing. But it in and of itself, as its own entity, is not a real thing. It's a computer. It will always be a computer, no matter how advanced and how seamless it looks to be like a human being, a very organic thing.
Or how it gives a certain emotion.
Yes.
Because social media does that now.
Yeah. And it will know how to trigger certain emotions within you.
Oh, of course.
Right?
It's going to get, it's the manipulating the emotions. It's the perfect. It's the ex machina.
It's ex machina. Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's like, oh, let me play like I'm vulnerable. And
that's what I mean. They'll all be quite intelligent. But remember, we will come to this path. It will converge. Do we want to use it to help us evolve and recognize that it's a computer as a tool helping us do that? Or do we want to fully integrate this into our society and say, this is real for us? These are entities. We've done it with corporations. It is more than likely going to happen that we will say that some forms of artificial intelligence, artificial computing, synthetic people, will be their own entities. I think for whatever reason, we will form some sort of emotional attachment. We do it with dogs. We do it with cars.
Why wouldn't we do it with robots?
Why wouldn't we do it with robots? Because it's even that much closer. You know what I mean?
Robots are physical.
Yeah. So it's bound to happen. It'll get there, and it's just a matter of time.